Joe, he's a Spurs fan. He's called 08717 223344. He don't think Mourinho is the problem. So, Joe, for you, in your opinion, what is going wrong down there for Spurs?
Hi guys, great show as always.
Thanks for calling in.
No worries. Just getting a bit frustrated with people just sort of slamming Mourinho all the time. You know, it was only last year that people were saying that we need to sort of toughen up the way we play and how it's as much as our football on the pitch was attractive. At the end of the day, we haven't won anything for years. And at the moment, we're one place off the top four and then in a League Cup final. So I think we need to give him till the end of the season to at least see how we finish. I think all this negativity around it is only going to have negative, impacts on the squad. With regards to the performance today, I definitely agree that it was woeful at best. But yeah, let's see where we are at the end of the season, because at the end of the day, we could be in the top four and win a trophy.
Yeah, I think you make some great points there, Joe, and I've actually got a league table in front of me. This is the net spend of the 20 current Premier League clubs up until the end of the 20...
You should get Joe to guess.
Guess where Tottenham are in terms of money net spent by the 20 Premier League clubs. This was between 2014 and 2019. Where do you think Tottenham would be under Daniel Levy in that list of 20?
I would imagine we're probably hanging around mid-table at best.
18th.
Really? Wow.
Only Leeds and Sheffield United, who actually turned a profit in that 5-year period, have got a smaller net spend than Tottenham. And just to put it into some kind of perspective, Manchester City are top, £639 million. United, £590 million. Chelsea, 440. Liverpool, 337. Even Arsenal, 329. Tottenham, £63 million. Manchester City in that 5-year period had a net spend 10 times more than Tottenham. So is the problem Jose Mourinho, or is the problem the fact that Daniel Levy and the Tottenham owner are too frugal? They've obviously had to fund the stadium, and that actually this Tottenham squad isn't good enough for the Champions League anyway because of that lack of investment.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think just coming back to your point with Chelsea's next spend, I mean, we all know in the summer they spent, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but roughly £200 million, and they're currently sat one place above us in the league. So I don't think the problem is that necessarily Daniel Levy. He's obviously done what he can do with the funds and with the stadium as well. And I don't think it's Mourinho. I think it's a case of we are who we are, and at the end of the day, we are going to push for it to be a top four club, and that is always going to be the way it's going to be with the amount of money that we're spending. The best that we can hope for at the moment, I think, in the way the league is and what other teams are spending, is to try and sneak into that top four and try and win, an FA Cup or a League Cup. But at the moment, we still are on track to do that. So, yeah, we'll see where we are at the end of the season. But personally, I'm still optimistic.
Joe, I'm absolutely delighted you phoned in and you shone a bit of positivity onto this, because I don't know him, but I feel exactly the same. Frustrated that people, easy to put it on to Mourinho. I know managers get a lot of stick, of course they do, but he was brought in to win trophies. Now, I want to talk about Harry Kane. He is the subject of a lot of debates over social media, and so he should be one of the best forwards in the country, if not the best. Do you think if they pulled off a miracle, beat Man City, won a trophy and snuck into the top four, do you think that's enough to keep Kane?
Well, I think in a way it would probably encourage him to leave, because at least then he can finish his Tottenham career and say, I've won a trophy there.
Bowed out at the right time.
Exactly. I mean, the guy is a god, really. I think he's a fantastic player. Obviously, we've seen this season as well with his hold-up play and his assist that he's got. He's actually ranked higher than Messi and Ronaldo in that, I believe. I saw on some stats earlier on. So I think, yeah, like I say, that would probably, if anything, encourage him to leave. From a personal point of view, I hope that if he does leave, he does go abroad and not to another club in England. But yeah, you couldn't blame him.
How much would you take for him? How much you would be happy as a Spurs fan? I know, look, most Spurs fans would happily let him walk away because, like you said, he's a god for Spurs. But what would you like to take money-wise?
I think it has to be three figures, doesn't it, really?
Yeah.
It's got to be, 100 mil plus. But we all know Levy's a top businessman, so he's not going to let him go for silly money, even if he did.
Yeah, of course. Listen, Joe, great call. Harry Kane, he's going to go for It's going to be so interesting to see, because I know he doesn't want to sell, as you've said, to Premier League teams, but if Manchester City do come in and they offer 150...
Will they, though? their record signing is what, 70 million?
Yeah, but
Diaz.
Yeah, but they're in a unique situation now where Aguero's going, and Jesus, I think the odd game here and there can do a job. If you talk about someone to press on, I know they're going with this false 9, everyone's going, but they don't need one. In the long term, I think you do need a number 9. I think they're going to have to break the bank to get someone decent in.
As a former number 9 yourself, if you had the option, blank check, you've got Erling Haaland or Harry Kane.
Are they the only two on the list?
Yeah. Which one?
They're the only two on the list. You're not throwing Mbappe in there either. You're not throwing.
I don't think he's gettable, is he, Mbappe?
I'll go Haaland simply because of how young he is.
Darren?
I think as much as I love Haaland, I think he's a fantastic football player. I think I'd have to say, if you're Man City, it's got to be Harry Kane.
So 150 for maybe the next 3-4 years.
Yeah, but I think he's proven in the Premier League. Haaland isn't.
Yeah, but he's proven in the Champions League.
He is, but listen, some of the clubs that he did score against at the Champions League, fair enough, but I just think Harry Kane now, for a short-term 3-4 years project, I'd go for him.
What about the injury record?
I know, and 150 million on 3 years.
Everyone talks about his injury record. You actually look back at his stats. He's played 30-plus games in the Premier League in every season in the last 7-8 years. So he does pick up injuries, like we touched on. He's probably picked up his injury this season. Hopefully he goes into the Euros fully fit, but he isn't that injury prone.
What about, I mean, listen, I think he's gettable, but I'm not quite sure Manchester City would go for him. But what about Lukaku? Because there's rumblings that he wants to leave and come back to the Premier League.
I don't think he's on the same level as Kane and Haaland. I think he's done really well since he left Manchester United. And I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer...
He has scored a lot of goals.
Possibly made a mistake by letting him to leave without signing a replacement because, to use your quote about Gabriel Jesus, Martial for me isn't good enough. Yeah. And therefore they should have kept Lukaku in the building. But again, if you've got a list on the table, you've got Lukaku, you've got Haaland, you've got Kane, you've got Lewandowski, you've got Mbappe. I think Lukaku's bottom of that list.
You agree?
Yeah, I agree. But, I mean, you said, look, is that the only two that's on the table? If you add Mbappe in that as an out-and-out number 9, would you pick him over them two?
Yeah, I would. Mbappe for me is first. If he's gettable, I'm getting him.
Any reason?
I think he's the best out of the 3. Well, no, I don't think he's the best.
He's the best all-round player.
Yeah, all-round. I think out of the 3, the best centre-forward right now is Harry Kane. I've got no doubts about that. But if you talk about long-term investment, 150 million... The versatility of Mbappe, I'm going Mbappe.
Do you take much out of Pep coming out saying they're not signing a striker, Crookie?
No, I think he has to say that because as soon as teams know that Manchester City are actively looking, the price rockets, doesn't it? I mean, the Danny Ings scenario is an interesting one because I know there is definite interest from Manchester City, not as a direct replacement for Sergio Aguero.
Where would he be on that list?
Ings or Haaland?
Well, no,
Lukaku?
I think they might sign 2 strikers.
I would get Ings. I've said it before. I would get Ings.
I think they'll get one of those headliners, if you like, and then Danny Ings comes into the conversation, possibly as backup. Whether he wants to do that. What I do know about the Danny Ings situation is that if Manchester City or Manchester United or a Champions League club don't come in for him, he will sign a new contract at Southampton. He isn't going to leave Southampton and go to Everton or West Ham or Leicester. They're his hometown club. He is committed to the cause. But if he got the chance to go to Manchester City, I think it would be one that he would want to take and one that maybe they wouldn't stand in his way.
Well, I'm sure some of them top stars will definitely be looking at Danny Ings because, once again, he is proven in the Premier League.